Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Trayvon Smith, and you've been tuned in to YouthLINE Live. How's it going today? Well, today we have our guest today, Pablo.
Hi.
How's it going, Pablo?
Good.
You want to introduce yourself and what do you do for a living?
Yes. I am Pablo Rodriguez. I'm originally from Central America, but moved out here about 9 years ago. So I've been living in San Francisco for 9 years now. I've seen the dramatic change happening in the mission and in the whole Bay Area. I've been a former participant of Chalk. I have also been a facilitator, a lyric, and I'm also the former LGBT National Youth Courage Award winner of 2016.
Congratulations.
But thank you. But besides all of those things, I'm here to talk about the herbs, and I'm here to talk about medicine.
Right.
And I'm excited.
Well, can you give us a brief rundown on herbs and what they can do for us?
Yes. Well, herb medicine, herbalism has been part of my family, and I feel like it's been part of our development as a human species, and not just as a human species, but as an overall. Herbs have helped us develop. So if you look at a herb, as an example, marijuana or weed, the compounds in that plant, you will find THC in that herb. And THC is also part of our body makeup. So you will find THC in different parts of the body that can help us release pain.
Right.
So with that being said, herbs have helped our human bodies develop, not just in the 21st century, but before that, and even before colonization. We didn't stigmatize herbs, and that's the reason why today I brought some of them. But going back, with a little knowledge of my family. So I'm from Guatemala, and we have been utilizing herbs before Western institutions. So with that being said, I grew up drinking teas, drinking different herbal compositions, if you can call them that, before even taking any pill, before Tylenol or aspirin or Advil or any of those things. At the age of 6, my mom finally decided to come here. So that created a disconnection, not just a disconnection from how I interact with my mom, but also a disconnection from how knowledge was passed down to me.
Right.
So at the age of 14, when I finally arrived here, my connection with her was even bigger, especially after I came out to her as queer. That disconnection really affected the way that information was brought to me. But plant medicine, I don't just think of plant medicine as a physical thing. I also think of plant medicine as a spiritual thing, that it is living. It breathes. As everyone in this room right now, we're breathing in oxygen. This flower right now, it's breathing the carbon that comes out of my mouth. It is breathing the carbon that comes out of my nose. It is breathing the carbon that comes out of every single pore in all my body. So spirit medicine, plant medicine always came my way somehow. It always found a way to inform me. And that also has been what has kept me alive. So even though I have been part of different organizations and different groups and clubs in school and out of school and gotten awards and all of those things, I feel like the best award that I have gotten has been my relationship with plants. And not just that, but also how plants informed me to bring that to people. We're currently living in a system where you usually see people of color living close to the freeway, or living close to the oil refineries, or living in literally after World War II. The US specifically did a lot of their research on Bayview Hunters Point.
Right.
So there is literally toxics in the land already.
The shipyard and all of that.
Yes. So, and it's the same in Treasure Island. And if you see who's living on Treasure Island, it's most likely people of color. And it's the same in Pittsburgh, Richmond, Auckland, all of these areas that literally have toxics in the land. And kind of adding on to that, the fact that currently the system that we're on, Donald Trump just kind of slapped across.
We took it there. We have to take it there.
Just slapped across healthcare.
Right.
So with that being said, more than ever, we need to start remembering our connection to plants, especially as a person of color. We literally develop with herbs. So it's super important for us to start remembering our connection to plants, our connection to land, that we never and we didn't used to live in toxics. We didn't used to abuse herbs as marijuana. We didn't grow up. We are not people that came from cancer, and we are not people that came from diabetes. But now it's like every meal that you have, Coca-Cola, it's in your right or left hand. So it is super important for us to start remembering our connection to herbs. It's part of the healing process, and it's not just the healing process, but it's also an acknowledgement to say there has been 500 years of white supremacy in this land.
Yes.
So as we start remembering where we come from, and as we start remembering our connection to plants, it's part of that healing. We can show up to every single protest and show up to every single workshop, but if you haven't done your healing, and that can mean different things for different folks, but at some point we have to start investing into what healing means to you, and what that means for us as a community. Yes.
That was a very great answer to my question. I really love, the spirit that you bring out from that. And it seemed like you really have a passion for the plants and everything. We all should have that. And I really didn't know that, the stuff that in plants is in us. And that really showed you how we are grounded to the earth.
Yes.
So, what are some ways that we can access these herbs? Because I know that you have your business that you should talk about. But basically my question is, what are some ways to access these herbs, and how can people utilize these herbs to do the medicines that they need to do?
Yes. So even though I was invited here to inform people about my so-called business,
your lifestyle.
Well, my so-called business, I feel like before I even tell you how you can find my product line, or however you want to call it, I want to inform you that you already carry medicine in the way that you are alive from ancestral prayer. Your ancestors pray for you to be alive. Your ancestors, the elements, pray for you to be here. And they're still contributing to your resistance today. But before I even tell you about my website and so on, I would like to tell you as well to start paying attention to what herbs are growing around you. Pay attention to the herbs that are growing around you. A lot of the times we take those for granted. All of the herbs that are growing around you, and this is from my indigenous teachers, they're always telling me that the herbs that grow around you are the herbs that you should be using. that those herbs are growing around you because they're calling you, because you are calling them. So as an example, when you go to the Bayview, you will see a lot of clip daga, and a lot of people don't even know what clip daga is.
What is it?
Clip daga it's also known as I think it's called lion's tail. It's this beautiful orange flower, and it is an African plant. And a lot of people don't know about this herb, but it is actually a sedative, and you can actually use it as if it was for pain and relaxation.
Right.
So again, the plants come wherever they're needed, and you will also see a lot of, especially during the spring, you will see a lot of mushrooms.
Oh yeah, I noticed that.
Growing around these areas, and the reason why a lot of the mushrooms come to these areas is because the mushrooms can actually detoxify the land. The mushrooms can detoxify the earth. And if you think about the way that the mushrooms detoxify and bring rich nutrients and rich compounds into the land, imagine what the mushrooms could also do to your body. If the mushrooms can detoxify the land and decolonize the land, the mushrooms can also even decolonize the body. Some of the things that I provide are seeds. So all of the herbs that I grow are local. So right here we have this beautiful calendula, and you can see it.
I can see it.
Okay. I have this beautiful calendula. Calendula, it's a beautiful plant. It's really nice for the skin. And every bud, every flower, gives around 13 seeds. So from one herb, I managed to grow tons and tons of them. And it's good for eczema, for especially right now in fall. There's going to be a lot of winds. The cold weather brings a lot of skin dryness. And calendula is one of those herbs that can support when the skin is dry. And if you look at calendula loves the sun, and it also loves water. So it brings coolness wherever there is irritation. And again, thinking about spirit medicine, when you think of calendula, it's a flower that it's literally was, I think it was 2 weeks ago, that it was 110 degrees in San Francisco, and calendula was just open and vibrant. In a couple of days it kind of like rained a little, and calendula was still bright and vibrant. It was still standing tall. So with that being said, the medicine that you want to bring into your body, it's resilient. The medicine that you're bringing into your body is gentle. Calendula, it's a plant that even if it's 110 degrees or raining as if there is not tomorrow, calendula stay gentle. And that's also one of the reasons why I love making medicine, because when I'm making medicine that won't just bring you beauty, but that will also benefit your body system and spiritual body system as well. So from calendula, I also got to make an oil with it, and the oil you can use it for dryness, eczema, irritation, mosquito bites, and so on. So these are some of the things that I make on my own, and I'm also going to school for this, so I'm not just like doing this.
You're the real deal. You gotta let me know.
Yes.
The real truth, he's the truth.
Yes. So I'm also majoring in biology, so I do have a deep and well understanding of the human body. And I'm also learning from indigenous practitioners. So my knowledge comes from both the Western understanding of the human body and also the non-Western, which is my Mayan background. And I also incorporated a little of Chinese medicine because it is important, and I do it with a lot of respect. But moving forward, I also make tinctures, which at some point I feel like they can replace a lot of the pills that we're taking. A lot of pills actually are damaging our liver. A lot of pills are damaging our different organs. So I also have access to tinctures, oils, painkillers, and others. All of these things are also local grown from seeds. It's also super important that we as a community know what we are putting in our bodies. A lot of the times when you go to Walgreens and you look at a label, it will say a lot of names that you don't even know what those names are.
Right.
And it will say, and with that being said, you don't even know who made it, or you don't even know where those things were grown. All of the compounds in those bottles or pills can actually be traced back to herbs, to herbal medicine. So it is super important for us to know who's making our medicine. And this is the reason why I'm also contributing to this. And by the way, I'm not the only one making medicine. There is a lot of people making medicine, and I'm just one of many. It's sort of like the universe. I'm one star in like
the whole Milky Way galaxy.
Exactly. So again, all of the things that I make are local, and if I don't have that, I look to any other friends who I'm connected to and see what they have, and we trade. So it's fair trade, and it's all local grown.
So it's a community.
Yes. So we support each other when we're trying to make medicine, because it's medicine for the people. It's medicine for the resistance. It's medicine for to heal deep wounds. A lot of the times we think of healing as like, oh, you get a cut in your hand and you put a band-aid on it. A band-aid helps. And we can actually think of marijuana as a band-aid.
Right.
For when you're dealing with a lot of stress and you put a band-aid on it. But a band-aid can only do so much for you. It can actually rain and then the band-aid will
just slip off.
Exactly, it will slip off. With herbal medicine, it got steeper than that. It got steeper to the point that reishi, reishi is a mushroom. And there is an Asian reishi, and there is also a native reishi. And both reishi actually work in a cellular level when it comes to healing and boosting up your white blood cells. And those cells are the ones that help your body maintain healthy. But yes, so my products, you can find them at benadex.com.
Can you spell it out so they can be able
Yes.
to hear?
VENDX. Wait. VENATX. Then.
Okay.
Benadex, yes. And the reason, and I've also get a lot of people questioning me about why Benadex. Venado, it's the translation for deer in Spanish. Venada, it's the female deer.
So
Exactly.
Show.
Exactly. So the X, it's non-binary. And again, as a queer person of color who also makes medicine for the community, it's super important that you know this. So that way you know that a queer person is investing on your medicine, on your health, on your healing process. And it's not just about representation. It is also about remembering that long time ago, before Western colonization, a lot of our cultures did not stigmatize queer people. They didn't think of queer people as demons. They didn't think of queer people as bad. They didn't think of queer people as objects, and they didn't think of queer people as something to be eliminated out of this realm, out of this world. But yes, you can find a lot of my products there, and I also make products for the public, but I also always prefer working with people one-on-one. So anyone can contact me through that website, and I'll respond to them as soon as possible. And I always, and this is also something that I learned through indigenous medicine, it's that everyone has a different body, a different constitution.
Right.
So if chamomile works for you, it might not work for me.
Chamomile wakes me up.
Exactly. Right. So if passion flower works for you, it might not work for me. Right. So there is products that I do put for everyone, but there is also some specific ones that I wouldn't recommend to everyone, and I like to work in that way better, because that way I'm making medicine specifically for one person rather than just randomly giving people anything. I don't work like that. And if you think of Walgreens, I mean, you can find Tylenol, and it's like everyone takes Tylenol. And it's like, actually might not work for everyone.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, that's all the time we have for today's show. You really you're like a natural, and I love it.
Not even.
You're like, no, you are a natural, and that goes with your character and everything that you do. To find his products, again, can you spell it one more time today in case they missed it, in case the people are tuning in late?
Okay, so Benadx.com. So BENADX.
Okay. We hope that you guys actually gain some knowledge and gain something from this show, and actually just hit them up to get herbs and actually get a one-on-one reading for you guys to have your individual medicines going. But I gotta go. My name is Trevon Smith, and thank you for tuning in. Bye.